Welcome back. I'm taking a break from the wire wrapping of this temperature probe module. By taking a break, I mean I'm not going to be actively videoing the progress. There's a lot of minute wiring that I still need to do to this board, and I'm going to be posting periodic updates, but as for the video content, uh, maybe a little while before we get back to the videos for this board. To go back to the breadboard and try to make some modifications on this, because I am still working on optimizing the code and some other things with this module. But as you can see, it's kind of bulky and cumbersome. I have it on a 5-gallon bucket lid because I have, besides the two breadboards, which if I could go by and take this little breadboard and make it into a full size 830 pin breadboard and connect them together like I have with other projects. But the two main things that I want to focus on are the things that I have these alligator clips, which were fine for when I was first doing the breadboard, but now if I want to take it to a different room or if I want to do something different, it's becoming cumbersome. So the first thing I want to do is the 3 wires that are connecting to the DS18B20 temperature probe. So originally I had these probes, and they're connected with a 3 wires down to the connection. These are good if you're going to put the probe inside something, like if you want to put inside an oven, or if you want to put like one outside. But in the meantime, I was able to get these individual modules. Now, what I could do with this is where these 3 connections are, is I could go ahead and solder in individual pin headers, and I have different colors, so I can make a black, a red, and a yellow one and plug them into there, because I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the battery right now as I make some changes to here. Plus, you don't need to see the temperature right now. Is that these individual wires are too thin to fit into the breadboard. They pop out. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the temperature probe and take that, put it aside. I can use it on a different project. So now, if you look here, I have the 3 spots where the temperature probe was connected. Now that I zoomed in, we can get a better look at what's happening here and how we can go about doing this upgrade. So if you look over here, let me move this down a little bit. I have the red, the black, and the yellow wires. I have the red wire just going ahead to the power rail right there. So I'm going to pull that wire out. I don't need that right now. Same thing with the ground. The ground's just going to the ground on the power rail. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. So that leaves this pin, which is the data pin. So now I have some more room at the end of this breadboard. So I'm going to take one of these smaller modules, or the self-contained module. Well, they're all self-contained, but this is just the module, no wiring or anything. And the way these modules are labeled, so if you look at from the bottom up on the data sheet, this pin, let me grab my tweezers. This pin here is the ground, this center pin is the data, and this pin on the outside is the VDD. So I'm going to go ahead and just plug this into the last three, these three right here. So I'm going to have to separate the pins just a little bit, and I'm going to plug it into these three slots right there, and I have it in there. I may get some residual heat from the Pico, but I'm not concerned with that right now. So for right now, I am going to just take this yellow wire and I'm going to just plug it right into the breadboard. Now, in the future, I can, and I crossed that yellow wire, which I didn't want to do, just to make things a little less cumbersome. So, yeah. So now I have that wire connected. And again, just to make things a little easier, I am just going to take the wiring directly and use the same jumper wires and plug in the black. And there's my power wire, and I still have the resistor plugged into the data pin over here. I can go through and shorten that now that one, I have plenty of those resistors, and B, I don't think I'm going to be making any more major modifications. But for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and plug it in to the power. Now, so I have these three power wires or these three alligator clips that I can go use in another project. Okay, now I zoom back out and let's see if I did anything wrong. So now these power wires still have the same issue where you can't just plug them into the breadboard because they're too thin. So I'm still using the alligator clips, and as you can see, the power wire, which I'm connecting right there, is connected to the power in on the Raspberry Pi Pico. And as you can see, I have this small USB wire, and that's mainly for programming and testing. I don't use that primarily for power unless I run into other issues. So now that I connected the power wire, I'm going to go connect the ground wire, and we'll see if I messed anything up. Okay, so this starts off, the signal is not resetting. And let me make sure I did not loosen any wires. And bring this back on to the visual and give it another shot. Okay. Okay, so after some testing off camera, I realized that the batteries I was using needed to be charged. I've had them charging for about an hour. These three right here were the ones that were inside the battery box. As you can see, the battery box is empty. And the way I determine that is, as I had mentioned, I have this USB cable. So I just took an external power supply and I plugged it in. And lo and behold, it's working. So yeah, as you can see, those decimal points are still showing up there. Um, I believe that's the way I have the storage register clock and the shift register clock tied together. Um, but okay, so the sensor is working there, and it just leaves the power. So I'm going to go through off camera and make sure it's working with charged batteries, but that still leaves the problem of I have this battery box connected with these alligator clips, which again, it's not really working out well when I want to say take this to a location to test it outside, test it in uh, different rooms, or bring it to show people and demonstrate what I've done besides just telling them to watch this YouTube channel. You be free to tell as many people as you want about this YouTube channel. I won't mind. So, in my next video, I'm going to be working on improving the battery function or the battery connectivity to this breadboard. So, go ahead and subscribe if you want to keep up to date on the latest on this project, the wire wrapped breadboard that I am working on, or any other projects as I start having them published. And if you have any questions or any thoughts, just go ahead and leave a comment. And have a great day.